Looks like the internet was... So I'm just going to give you all a little time to rejoin. I don't know what happened. Let me just share the link again on our WhatsApp group. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit more time to come back. I see 3 of you are already back, but I'll just give a little more time. I'm going to, in the meanwhile, I'm going to get some water. All right. Okay, you're all back now. Haribol. I don't know when it cut off, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I'm just going to see. I'll just start from here. Okay. Actually, let's just read from this point, because really this is... No, I'll read this. Okay. Okay. Okay, so taking Kṛṣṇa on his lap, magnanimous Nanda Mahārāja time and again smelled his son's head, saying, Bhagavan has saved you from great danger. That's talking about... I'll just read from the beginning. Okay. Previously, Nanda Bābā was very detached from worldly life, but after Kṛṣṇa was born, he became spellbound in attachment for him. Before Krishna's birth, Nanda Bābā had never had any need to go to Kamsa's kingdom. But after his birth, some money was necessary for his sustenance, for Krishna's sustenance, and for this reason, Nanda went to Mathurā. There he spoke to Vasudeva, who told him, Please, you go return to Gokul quickly. The demons will now create the disturbance in all directions. Kamsa is determined to see that all children born within the last 10 days are killed. Therefore, please return quickly. As Nanda was returning to Gokul, he saw the massive corpse of Putana beside the road, and being frightened for Krishna's welfare, he hurried home. Arriving there and seeing that Krishna was all right, it was as if his very life had returned to his body. His previous feelings of detachment could not remain. Taking Krishna on his lap, magnanimous Nanda Mahārāja time and again smelled his son's head, saying, Bhagavan has saved you from great danger. Then he heard from his brother Upananda and others how the Rakshasi Putana took Krishna on her lap and forcibly put her breast in his mouth. She had applied poison to her breast, so how could Krishna possibly have been saved? Next, she flew up into the sky because Krishna had latched onto her and would not let go, and she was thinking that if she could fly to where Kamsa was, Kamsa could separate Krishna from her. She thought that in 1 minute only she could arrive there. But instead, Krishna sucked her breast with such force that he not only drank her poisoned breast milk, but sucked out her very life. Hearing how Krishna was saved from the hands of death, Nanda's tears soaked Krishna's body. In this verse, the words Swaputra, which mean that Krishna was Nanda's own son, and also the word Proshyagata, which means that Nanda was not actually the father of Krishna, but the one who nurtured him. Most people consider that Nanda Mahārāja was Krishna's Proshyagata, and that his real parents were Vasudeva and Devaki. Vasudeva brought Krishna to Gokul, and there Nanda raised him. But Nanda Bābā trusted what he saw with his own eyes, He trusted. He saw this with his own eyes, that Kṛṣṇa had taken birth from the womb of Yaśodā in his own home. There was no doubt in his mind. But Vasudeva also had no doubt that Kṛṣṇa was his son. But if Kṛṣṇa had taken birth in Nanda's home, then how could he have had loving affairs with the girls there, who were the daughters of Nanda's brothers, and therefore would have been Krishna's cousins? How would this be possible? The gopis are actually his Ladini Shakti, but he first appeared in Mathura to prevent the people of this world from saying, "Oh, he is performing the Ras dance with his own cousins?" So it is said that Krishna is really the son of Vasudeva, but this verse refers to Krishna as Nanda's Swaputra, his own son. What could be greater evidence than this? Nanda Swaputram Adaya Proshyagata Udharadhi. With natural, simple-hearted feelings of great fatherly affection, Nanda took his own son on his lap and nurtured him. Here the meaning of the word proshyagata is nurtured. Okay, so that's where I noticed it was cut off. Let me see. All right, looks like everybody's here again. After the killing of Kṛṣṇa, Nanda remained waiting in his Mathura residence and was feeling very unhappy. He was thinking, more than 24 hours have passed since Kṛṣṇa was killed, and still neither Vasudeva nor anyone else, such as Ugrasena or Akrura, has brought me any news. Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma themselves have also not come. Because they are mere children, that is all right. But why haven't any of the others come? I have heard that people are saying that they are actually the sons of Vasudeva. Because no one went to him with any news, Nanda Bābā was crying. Wait. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. Let me reread that. I was reading in the wrong voice. I'm a bit spaced out right now. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, so Nanda remains waiting in his Mathura residence and was feeling very unhappy. He was thinking, more than 24 hours have passed since Kṛṣṇa was killed, and still neither Vasudeva nor anyone else, such as Ugrasena or Akrura, has brought me any news. Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma themselves have also not come. Because they are mere children, that is all right. But why haven't any of the others come? I heard that people are saying that they are actually the sons of Vasudeva. Because no one went to him with any news, Nanda Bābā was crying in solitude, thinking, what will I do? Should I go to Vasudeva's palace to meet him? Or what should I do? Soon after dark, Kṛṣṇa and Baladeva came alone to him. They saw that their father was very sad, with his head hanging down in his hands. Sitting on his lap and lifting his father's chin, Kṛṣṇa said, Father, why are you sitting like this, alone and silent? Looking at Baladeva, Nanda said, My son, why haven't you come earlier? Baladeva replied, Father, a very strange thing is happening. Many people are saying that we are actually the sons of Vasudeva, but I don't accept this. Even if we are the sons of Vasudeva, we don't know any father besides you. If for any reason a mother and father renounce a son, then those who raise him are really his mother and father. There are many different kinds of fathers, the one who begets you, the one who raises you, the king, the spiritual master, the father-in-law, and the family priest. But amongst them, the best is he who raises and protects you, and therefore, I am your son only. I don't know any other father besides you. I don't want to remain here in Mathura for even one more second. I want to immediately accompany you and Kṛṣṇa back to Vraj. Nanda Bābā said, My son, don't speak like this. Hearing this, my younger brother Vasudeva will die, and Devaki will also die. Nanda Bābā said this because he knew that they would die, and therefore he is more magnanimous than Vasudeva and Devaki, who didn't care about. He is more magnanimous than Vasudeva and Devaki, who didn't care as much about the Vrajvasis' feelings while Kṛṣṇa stayed with them in Mathura. He said to Baladev, 6 of their sons were killed, and only with great difficulty were they able to save both of you. If you hadn't been brought to Gokul, you would have also been slain. Therefore, we are forever indebted to Vasudeva, so you remain here. I will take Kṛṣṇa and return to Gokul. Baladev replied, I will not be without Krishna for even 1 second. I consider you to be my only father and Krishna to be my only brother. Then Nanda Bābā looked at Krishna, because in his childhood, Krishna had given Nanda so much advice. He asked him, What should I do? Krishna replied, Father, may I speak? Yes, please. In my opinion, it would not be auspicious for Baladev Prabhu to go to Vraj, leaving Vasudeva and Mother Devaki in such a difficult situation. And if I go, then he must also go. Therefore, if you will give us permission, we will stay here for a few days, and then later we will both return together. What he was saying was having some influence on Nanda Bābā, but Nanda could only remain silent. Krishna continued, I am prepared to go with you now, but then everyone will say, Nanda Bābā is very cruel. Even after all of Vasudeva and Devaki's children died, he took Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma away from them and returned to Gokul, leaving them to die also. So please don't do this. Kṛṣṇa has now been killed, and we just need a few more days to complete our work here by killing all the remaining demons. You please return home. Concerning this point, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that a person will stay with whomever he receives the most affection from, whoever they are. Each and every jiva, even a dog, is hungry for love. It is true that Krishna could not receive the prema of Vraj anywhere else. Able to obtain even a fraction of the love that Yaśodā and Nanda had given him in either Mathurā or Dwarka, and the prema that the gopis had for him was so pure that he could not find anything like it anywhere else in the entire universe. So giving up that love, he went to Mathurā? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, we don't have any faith in that. People may say that he left Vraj and went to Mathurā, but that can't be so. He remained in Vraj in an unmanifest form. No one could see him, but he was there. When Akrura took Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma on the ox cart to Mathurā, it was actually their expansions in the mode of Aishwarya as the sons of Devaki and Rohini that went to Mathurā. They remained in Vraj in their original forms, but no one knew of it. How was this possible? By the Yogamaya potency, which makes the impossible possible. Therefore, Krishna always remains in Vrindavan. This is a special conception given by our Gosvāmis. If Krishna was ever able to actually leave Vraj, then it would mean that the residents there didn't love him the most, and that Krishna didn't love them the most. And neither of these ideas are possible. Therefore, he never leaves Vrindavan. What happened next? Krishna began living in Mathurā, and all of the members of the Yadu dynasty returned. Due to fear of Kṛṣṇa's atrocities, they had fled. But after Kṛṣṇa's death, they returned to Mathurā and began living there again with great happiness. Meanwhile, Asti and Prapti, the daughters of Jarasandha who had married Kṛṣṇa, approached their father bewailing, Your son-in-law was faultless. They threw him on the ground and killed him, even though he did not fight back. Being very angry, Jarasandha attacked Mathurā 17 times with very large armies. Krishna was thinking, should I return to Vraj now? But he was unable to go because Vasudeva saw that Krishna had not been properly educated. He knew only how to take cows out for grazing. So first he wanted to give Krishna the samskar of the sacred thread, and for this he called Gargacharya to his home. Everyone, whether local or from distant places, was invited to the ceremony, but Vrajvasis like Nanda and his brother Upananda were intentionally not invited. Taking advice from senior members of the dynasty like Uddhav and Akrura, Vasudeva and Devaki had decided before in the assembly of Ugrasen that if the residents of Vraj are invited here for the ceremony, then the bhav of Vraj will be stimulated inside Krishna, and he will certainly desire to return to Vraj with them. If that bhav awakens inside him, none of us will be able to check it, and therefore it is better not to invite them. For the ceremony, Kṛṣṇa had his head shaved, leaving only a shikha. Wearing wooden sandals and taking a staff, he assumed the full dress of a brahmachari. Then Garga Muni gave him the Gayatri mantra and the sacred thread, and putting the cloth for begging alms around his neck, said, "My dear son, now beg some alms." Previously in Vraj, Yaśodā had told Kṛṣṇa, "When you receive the sacred thread, we will fill your begging cloth with jewels." Now Kṛṣṇa remembered that occasion, and in that great assembly, he anxiously started looking in all directions. "Where is my mother?" At the ceremony, Devaki was fully decorated in her best attire, sitting in the front to give Kṛṣṇa alms. And Kṛṣṇa was anxiously looking around. "Where is my mother? Where is my mother?" But not seeing her, acute remembrance of Yaśodā came to him, and he thought, My mother somewhere in Nanda Bābā will be standing alone by the door. Sometimes she'll be looking inside the house, and sometimes she'll be looking outside. She'll be crying, not knowing where I am, and wondering, what is my son doing at this moment? And here I am, accepting this sacred thread amidst a joyous celebration, crying out, Mother, Mother! Kṛṣṇa fell to the ground unconscious. All of the excitement of the occasion and the giving and taking of alms immediately stopped, and everyone ran to Kṛṣṇa and lifted him up. Witnessing this spectacle, the members of the Yadu dynasty said, "Just see how strong his attachment is to Vraj. He should be sent far away for his education. He should be sent to Ujjain, and there he can start strictly following his vows and the instructions of his spiritual master. He will stay there as long as the Guru sees fit, and then upon returning here, his nature will have changed, and he will understand that he is really the son of Vasudeva." So they sent him there. Somehow the Vrajvasis came to know of all of this and said, "Considering him to be their own son, they have given him the sacred thread? Forcibly they have made him a kshatriya through the sacred thread ceremony? And they have cruelly sent him to Ujjain to receive his education from Sandipani Muni? Wearing horizontal markings on his forehead, Sandipani Muni is an impersonalist worshipper of Shankar. Why have they sent Kṛṣṇa to him?" Yoga Maya had made the arrangement that Kṛṣṇa be sent to Sandipani, because if he had been sent to a Vaishnav, the Vaishnav would have recognized him. Therefore, he sent to a devotee of Shiva who would not recognize him, and his identity would not be revealed. Kṛṣṇa was sent to Ujjain, and in 64 days he learned 64 arts. When Kṛṣṇa returned from there, he sent Uddhav to Vraj. After speaking with Uddhav, one of the gopis began speaking to a bee, considering it to be a messenger from Kṛṣṇa. Abhata madhupuryam aryaputra dhunaste smarati sapitrigehan somya bandungscha gopan kvachirapi sakatana kinkari nam grinite bhojamaguru sugandam murdinadasyat kadanu. At Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:47-21. Now that Kṛṣṇa has completed his studies at the ashram of Sandipani, will he be coming here? Certainly he won't be able to stay in Mathurā. Is he on the road coming here right now? He told me over 2 months ago that he will be returning the day after tomorrow, but still he has not come. Does he ever remember us at any time? Does he remember us as those who string wonderful flower garlands for him? Does he remember, oh, the gopis' beauty beats that of even the most beautiful women in the world? Does he ever remember us in that way? Or does he remember us even in a derogatory manner? Oh yes, those gopis are foolish girls who work with milk products and don't know anything. When he hears a song or sees some dancing, does he remember us and the sentiments we shared, the love of his insignificant dasis? When will he return and make us fearless by placing his aguru-scented hands on our heads and putting his long arms around our necks as he did during the Ras Lila? Similarly, Nanda Bābā and all the residents of Raj had extremely strong feelings for Krishna from his very childhood, and although he didn't send them any news from Mathura or Dwarka, in the end, when it was the appropriate time for Surya Puja at Kurukshetra after the war there, without being called, Nanda Bābā, Yaśodā, the gopis, and all the residents of Raj went there, and at last met him again. In the verse we are discussing, it says Swaputram. The word swa, meaning one's own, is used because otherwise the word putra could mean that Krishna was the adopted son of Nanda. So this verse says taking his own son, not taking the son of Vasudeva. He repeatedly embraced and kissed him. And because of his great affection for Krishna, Nanda experienced paramam, the supreme spiritual ecstasy which even Vasudeva never felt. Or another meaning of paramam mudam can be that Nanda felt that ecstasy which even Mahalakshmi, who is worshipful to all devotees, cannot attain. Udaradhi. Nanda Bābā was very generous and magnanimous. On the day of Krishna's birth festival, he gave cows, jewels, cloth, and everything he had in charity to the Brahmins. Udara can also mean greatly intelligent. If he hadn't been highly intelligent, he wouldn't have asked Brahma only for the boon of having the most elevated Vatsalya-prema for Bhagavan. He didn't even ask for an ordinary son, nor did he even ask to have Bhagavan as his son, but he only asked for Bhagavad Bhakti. This is the proper yearning, begging for bhakti, for prem. The acharyas in our sampradaya don't consider that obtaining Krishna is the ultimate objective. They consider that obtaining Krishna prem is the ultimate objective, especially the Krishna prem of the Vrajavasis, and within that, especially the prem of the gopis. And within that, the prem of Radha has been emphasized. To have prem for Krishna as Radha Vallabh. Nanda begged only for Bhagavad Bhakti, not for having a son. Vasudeva prayed, "We desire a son like you." But Nanda prayed, "We desire to have Vatsalya-prema for you." When Brahma had offered the boon to Drona and Tara, Drona said, "Please first ask my wife what she desires." Tara replied, "When Brahma himself takes birth in this world and performs his wonderful human-like pastimes, we desire to have great devotion for him." Both mother and father will have love. Both the mother and father will love their son, but the mother will love him even more. The mother actually nurtures the child, while the father provides all the necessities such as clothing and food. If during the night the father's sleep is broken by the child's crying for even one moment, he may desire to even put the child outside the house. But the mother will stay awake all night if necessary, feeding the child's milk, comforting him, and lulling him back to sleep. The mother is ready to face any hardship, and therefore she looks after the child in a way that is not possible for the father. Nanda once went to Mathura to meet with Vasudeva concerning the taxes which had to be given to Kṛṣṇa, and one full day elapsed before he returned to Vraj. But Yaśodā couldn't tolerate being away from Krishna for even one moment, and therefore Yaśoda's affection for Krishna was greater than that of Nanda. When Uddhava visited Vraj, Nanda Bābā was able to converse with him a little, but Yaśodā could not. She couldn't possibly have spoken in her condition. She was simply lying on the ground nearby and bitterly weeping. When Brahma stole the cowherd boys and calves, Krishna assumed all of their forms for 1 year and drank the milk of the motherly gopis and cows. Describing the glories of those motherly gopis and cows is very difficult. So what to speak of describing the glories of Yaśodā? With great prem, she fed Krishna milk for the entire time he was residing in Vrindavan, and her glories are unlimited and unfathomable. If someone attains even a small particle of bhakti for Krishna, then they will feel their lives have become completely fulfilled. So what to speak of Yaśodā? I don't know if we even have the courage to attempt to describe her bhakti. After Kṛṣṇa left Vrindavan for Mathura, Mother Yaśodā stopped doing all housework. The kitchen remained unclean. All the pots were upside down, and there were cobwebs everywhere. Who would she cook for? When Kṛṣṇa was present, with great delight she would cook for him. But she felt that with Kṛṣṇa gone, there was no one to cook for. She began displaying the characteristics of someone who is approaching old age. And on one very hot afternoon, when she is feeling particularly unhappy, remembrance of so many of Krishna's childhood pastimes began coming to her, and she was at once submerged in bhav. Inside the house were Krishna's clothing and many of his toys, like his toy cows, his tiny bamboo flutes. She collected all of these in a cloth sack, and leaving the house, began to walk away. Then, when one of her friends who lived nearby approached her and said, "Saki, where are you going?" Seeing that she was going somewhere, others gathered around her and asked, "Mother, where are you going?" Previously, she was unable to even speak. Whenever she would desire to speak, she would just become choked with emotion and could only cry. But now she said, "I am going to wherever my Kanaya is." "What? Where is your Kanaya? This is Nandagram, and he is in Mathura. It is an extremely hot afternoon. The hot sun is bearing down, and the ground will certainly burn your feet. How will you go anywhere?" "I cannot live without him." So going to Mathura, then what will you do?" "I will go there, and arriving in the reception room, I will say, 'I desire to meet Queen Devaki.' And if someone brings me to Devaki, then I will fall at her feet and say, 'I will become your maidservant, birth after birth. I will serve your child. He is not my child, and I will cook for you both. I will become your maidservant for all time. Please keep me in your palace, where I will eat only your remnants and always serve you. That is all I desire.'" Saying that, she became overwhelmed with emotion and fell down right there. She had that much love for the Lord as her son. The Vraj devotees have the highest level of love for Krishna. Their love never becomes and goes as the love in this world does. They are all eternal associates of Krishna, and their prem is like a fathomless ocean. On rainy days, even though the rivers swell and flow even stronger towards the ocean itself never swells, and on dry days it never diminishes. So for the fathomless ocean, swelling and diminishing never occurs. This is the same with the love of these devotees. And Nanda and Yaśoda's prem for Krishna is always taking new and mitigated forms. I'm not sure if we have enough time to read this. Let me check the connection. Anyways, I'm just going to read. This is Secret Truths of the Bhagavatam. Let's see how far we get. Krishna leaves Vrindavan. The gopis are only keeping their life because Krishna has told them that he will return. This is their only asha, their only hope. Without this hope, they would die. They are burning in the fire of separation, but yet they do not want to die. This is a class that Gurudev gave. Oh, this is the class that Gurudev gave in Badger. Sorry, what I was reading was from Mathura. So this is probably in 1998 or some year like that. So Krishna's mood in Mathura. So the gopis are burning in the fire of separation, but yet they do not want to die because it'd be so painful for Krishna. So Krishna's mood in Mathura. And what about Krishna? Is he happy in Mathura? No, he is not happy there. Somehow Lalita can pacify Srimati Radhika by saying, "Do not weep, Krishna will surely come." But there is no one to pacify Krishna, no one to tell him that the gopis will come. Krishna has no friend like this in all of Mathura, so he is alone, intensely burning in a fire of separation with no one to save him. Here in Vrindavan, Yoga Maya Purnima, Vrinda, Lalita, Vishaka, and all others share in helping Radhika in her great suffering and separation from Krishna. But in Mathura, there is absolutely no one to help Krishna. That is why he wanted to send someone to school. Why school? So that this person could become qualified to console him in his lamentation. He therefore sent Uddhav to the school of the gopis in Vrindavan. Krishna and Baladev were sons of Yaśodā and Rohini. Although they came to Mathura, they could never forget this. After Kṛṣṇa was killed, Nanda Bābā was waiting outside the town, thinking, "Why are Krishna and Baladev not coming? Kṛṣṇa has been killed. Perhaps it is due to the conspiracy of the Yadavas, and they are purposely not allowing Krishna and Baladev to come to me." For 2 days, he did not eat anything. He just fasted, waiting for Krishna and feeling so much separation from him. After sunset, Krishna and Baladev came and sat on the left and right side of Nanda Bābā, who was weeping so much. Krishna and Baladev asked, "Father, you are weeping. Why?" Nanda Bābā said, "You have come to Mathura and you have forgotten me. Perhaps now you have a new father and mother." Krishna and Baladev also began to weep. "No, father, you are our only father." But all the Yadavas like Akrura, Uddhav, Ugrasen, Devaki, and Vasudev are telling us, "You are the sons of Devaki and Vasudev." They do not want us to come to you. They fear that if we come to you, you will take us to Vrindavan and we will never return to Devaki and Vasudev. That is why they are not allowing us to come. Nanda Bābā asked, "Do you think that you are the sons of Vasudeva and Devaki?" "Oh," Krishna replied, "I can never think like that, not even in a dream." Baladev Prabhu also said, "I also can never even dream like that. You are my father, Yaśodā is my mother, and Rohini is also my mother. My parents are in Vrindavan. I know that some say you are the sons of Vasudeva and Devaki and Vasudeva, but they never gave me a drop of milk, nor have they shown me any love and affection. I was separated from them, but you and Yaśodā Maiyā have nourished me and have given me milk, and therefore you are my father and mother. You are my father and mother, and my everything. I cannot consider Vasudeva to be my father, so I must come with you and Krishna back to Vrindavan." Nanda Bābā said, "Now what shall I do? You are both so intelligent. I think that I must go to Vrindavan, and Krishna, you should come with me. Baladev Prabhu may remain here." Why? Because the 6 sons of Devaki have been killed by Kṛṣṇa, and Devaki has only one son left, Baladev. If you both come, they may die. I think it would be better if only Krishna comes with me. Baladev Prabhu told him, "I cannot live alone. I will die. Do not separate me from Krishna. I will come with him. Without him, I cannot live for a moment." Krishna then said, "Father, listen to me. It will be better if for 2 or 3 days I remain here with Baladev. After 2 or 3 days, everyone will be pacified, and then I will return." Although Nanda Bābā became upset to hear this, there was no other way. He thought, "If I take Krishna with me, then Baladev will come. If Baladev comes, they will all die, and I would be like a butcher. Everyone would say, 'Nanda Bābā is very cruel.' What to do?" This was his dilemma. Krishna said, "Oh, do not weep. Do not worry. I will come back very soon as they are all pacified. So you should go." He then took many golden ornaments and silken garments and tied them up in the chadar of Nanda Bābā. Nanda Bābā thought, "If I..." One second, there's connections. Okay. So Nanda Bābā thought, "If I take all this, then the mother of Krishna will say, 'Oh, you have sold Krishna for these garments and ornaments and have come empty-handed? How will I be able to show my face in Vraj?' On the other hand, he could not refuse those gifts and say, 'I cannot take them,' because Krishna himself was giving them. Somehow, in the evening, Nanda Bābā returned. But what became of Yaśodā? When she saw that Kṛṣṇa had not come, she eventually became blind. Filled with anger, she said, "You have sold my son and have brought these ornaments and garments? And you think that by this we'll be happy?" Then she lay down on a bed and did not get up. She simply remains there, weeping. There was now such a pathetic mood in Vrindavan. One hot summer day, like the days in India in the month of Jyeshta, May, June, at midday, Yaśodā decided to take some of Krishna's baby garments, his little flute, a few of his marble calves, and some other toys and place them in a cloth. She then left her house. One gopi came to her and asked, "Mother Yaśodā, where are you going?" Yaśodā, as if dumb, and was going in. Yaśodā was as if dumb and was in no condition to answer. But still she said, "I'm going to my child." "Where is your child?" "I've heard that he is in Mathurā, so I must go. I will tell them there that Kṛṣṇa is my son. I will go to Devaki Rani and tell her, 'I want to be your dasi, your maidservant. I will clean your vessels and do everything like a dasi, and I will not take anything in return. If only for one day I can see the face of your child, I will be satisfied.'" Speaking like this, she fell to the ground and completely fainted. In this way, Yaśodā daily experienced so much separation from Kṛṣṇa that you cannot imagine. And what became of Kṛṣṇa? All the Yaduvangsha, Akrura, and all the others had a meeting and made a decision. We must change Kṛṣṇa's mind. How? We should perform his sacred thread ceremony and convince him that Devaki and Vasudeva are your father and mother, and you are a Yadav. He should be sent to Gurukul to study, and after some time, he will forget the Vraj. He is like a baby of 10 years or 12 years, so he can forget. They conspired together in this way. The sacred thread ceremony was then performed for Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. Their heads were shaved, and brahmacharis were given to them, as well as the Gayatri mantra, the sacred thread, and wooden sandals. Imagine how very beautiful and charming Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma must have been as brahmacharis. Their Gurudev Gargacharya gave them begging bowls and ordered, "You should now go to at least 5 or 10 houses and beg some bhiksha, some alms for me. You should say, 'Oh mother, give me some donation. Oh mother, give me. Oh father, give me.' Like this." Gargacharya made his chadar like a begging cloth. Those brahmacharis took the julis and danda, just as nowadays, when at the time of initiation, new initiates take a danda to collect bhiksha for their Gurudev. They were given very beautiful dandas. Kṛṣṇa was given a crooked danda, and Balarāma a very thick and straight one. Now their Gurudev said, "You must first go to your mother and father and beg from them, and then go to the others." Kṛṣṇa closed his eyes and thought, "Oh, my Gurudev has told me to go to my mother. But where is my mother? I have no mother here. My mother is where? She is in Vrindavan, in Nandagaon." He remembered that his mother had promised, "O Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, when you are given the sacred thread of a brahmachari along with mantras, I will fill your juli with diamonds, gold, and so many other jewels." Kṛṣṇa was remembering this and called out, "Where is my mother? Where is she?" As he stood before the Mathuravasis, he began to shout, "Oh mother! Oh mother!" Devaki and Vasudeva especially were ready to give them alms, but Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma did not address them as mother and father. Instead, they remembered Yaśodā Maiyā and cried out, "Mother! Mother! Mother!" Both of them, especially Kṛṣṇa, were crying and rolling on the earth. This was the condition of Kṛṣṇa. He was feeling so much separation, but there was no alternative because he had to perform pastimes in Mathura and Dwarka. He had to perform many pastimes in Mathura and Dwarka. Thus, from this time onward, it was a pathetic scene, both in Mathura and in Vrindavan. Try to realize it. Tomorrow we will discuss this again. Try to realize it. You can remember and chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, with tears in your eyes, thinking, "Oh, what is the state of Kṛṣṇa and Yaśodā Maiyā?" Yaśodā Maiyā is always thinking, "Oh, my dear child, Kṛṣṇa, Krishna, Krishna." In this way, you should also try to lament and feel separation and chant Hare Krishna. Remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pray, "Oh, be merciful to me. O Panchatattva, be merciful to me. O Nityananda Prabhu, be merciful so that we can realize these pastimes, so that we can chant, and so that we can forget all the problems of this world." Try to forget, where is the world? Who am I? Then Krishna will come and wipe away your tears. He is so merciful. So you should chant and remember. So you should chant and remember. This is the process. Remember all the pastimes in a deep way. When you are reading, these symptoms, such as tears, may manifest. For this reason, Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Maharaj came. He was so merciful and wanted to make you all qualified like this. But he saw that you had many other desires, jungles of desires and misconceptions. So he began to cut them. He wanted to make the ground fertile, but he left some work for me so that I could serve him. He left me this service and told me, "Now you should go and tell them." Among them, some are very qualified. If they hear of these moods, they will certainly develop some qualification to have them. That is why I came. I have no desire to gain money or prestige. I have not come to quarrel with anyone, nor make any disciples. On the other hand, one who accepts these views are disciples. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam udara upasta vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira, sarvam apimam pritavim shashishyat. Sri Upadeshamrita, verse 1. A wise and self-composed person who can subdue the impetus speak, the agitation of the mind, the onset of anger, the vehemence of the tongue, the urge of the belly, and the agitation of the genitals, can instruct the entire world. In other words, all persons may become disciples of such a self-controlled person. Sarvam apimam pritavim sashishyat. Such a person is actually Jagat Guru, just as Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Maharaj is Jagat Guru, and his Gurudev is Jagat Guru, Vishwaguru, the teacher of the universe. He is Guru of all the three worlds, as is Srila Rupa Gosvāmī. We are therefore so fortunate to be in this disciplic line. Try to remember these things. All of our friends and neighbors are not as dear as these gurus. They cannot help you, but you can help them. You can nourish and support them, but do not be entangled. You can do your duty, but always think like this and try to develop your Krishna consciousness. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Guranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Shri Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vāman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorkshadas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedānta Thakur ki jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupa Anuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dashagunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshada Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Nanda Bābā Yaśodā Maiyā ki jai. Sarva Vrajavasi Gan ki jai. Sarva Vraja Devi Gan ki jai. Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpaturu Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam everybody. Yeah, very sad part of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that we're at now. So tomorrow we will read this verse 25 in this what chapter are we on? Chapter 44, is it, or 45? Anyways, we'll read this verse 25, which has a very long commentary. And then we'll also read about the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, because we didn't manage to read about him on his disappearance day. So we'll read, which was just a few days ago. So we'll read about him on his appearance day. All right. See you all tomorrow for that. Jai Shri Radhe.